record this. You'll just probably have to press the yes recording button.
Yes.
Lovely. Okay, cool. Thanks, Gail.
Right. I'm going to mute myself and I will join you when my happy hour is over.
Have fun. Enjoy your little celebration. Cool. So Lynn and Pat, I would love to chat with you guys for just a couple of minutes and get to know your bodies, get to know your wants. I really like to make this the students' class. I have a plan for tonight, but I'd like to take into consideration what your goals for stretching are. So if you're comfortable leaving your video off, that's totally cool. But if you do put your video on, I might have a little better of an idea of how to assist you verbally if I sense something awesome. Thank you. If I sense something a little bit wonky in what I'm trying to cue versus what's happening on screen. So Lynn, do you want to tell me a little bit about any movement practices you have, and then any body parts you'd like to stretch tonight?
First I should tell you, I don't like yoga.
Okay.
I know it's good for me.
Not everyone likes it. People find it boring.
Well, no, it's not just that it's boring. There are a lot of positions that I really can't do because I have a toe joint that doesn't work. So I can't, and I can't straighten out to do like a downward dog or something. And it's
okay.
frustrating. If I work that joint too much, I pay for it. I can't walk well. So.
Absolutely. Okay, so tell me a little bit more. So is it hard to stand on your 2 feet? Can you be on your knees?
Stand on my toe, like to get up on my toes.
Right. Okay, so no relevaing, no lifting to the toes.
Exactly, not much relevaing.
Okay, how are you on your knees? Are you okay being in tabletop position instead of downward facing?
No, my knees are fine.
Beautiful. Okay, cool. So we're not doing plank poses with you. We're not doing downward facing dogs with you. Correct?
Yeah, I can do a little bit of a plank, but not staying a long time. I mean,
okay, cool. Well, we might go on.
I can do like a minute of a plank, but I can't do them multiple times because my
right. Okay, cool. So we might dabble into some plank, but if it doesn't work for you, just give me a wave, okay? And we'll do something totally different.
Okay, well, I can do it from my knees. It's okay.
Knees are good. All right, fantastic. And Pat, what about you? Any body parts that are just a no-no? Any positions that don't work for you?
Yeah, I have trouble being on my knees. It's very painful for me. I have arthritis in my right foot, so that's why I don't do much yoga, because I can't put all my weight on my right foot when it's in the back, you know, like whatever that pose is.
Yeah, like a pyramid pose when your legs are separated, or any kind of lunge is no good for you.
Not not barefooted, no.
Okay, gotcha. So Pat, what if you had something really soft underneath your knees? Is that still really uncomfortable in the joint, or is it the pressure?
It's just the pressure on my knees. Well, I have a thicker yoga pad here, and I just put it on top of my little living room rug here, which is what I'm going to get on when we start.
Okay, perfect. So again, if we are on our knees and something just does not feel good, please just let me know. And especially when you don't have your video on, just say something. This class is, I know yoga classes can be a little weird because there's no talking and it's so silent, but I would love to make this a little more communicative and to be able to cater to what you guys actually want rather than me just saying something. So does that work for you guys?
Sure.
Okay, so my last question before we get started is, this has been in the past stretching, restorative poses, and some core work. Are you two interested in the core work, or would you like to skip that?
I'm good with that.
Good with that? Okay.
I'm good with it, yeah.
Okay, cool. And if you change your mind halfway through and you're like, I don't want to do this, I will give you a variation where you can just relax. So if you guys want to put on any music in the background, you can feel free to do so. I don't play music through Zoom because sometimes it gets a little funky. So I want to give you about 2 minutes to just get set up. And what I mean by that is, if you have a strap or a towel or a t-shirt that will be able to hold something behind us, that would be perfect to have. I like to have blankets and yoga blocks, but they're not necessary. And having a chair or a table or a couch would be awesome. So do either of you not have access to a chair or a table or to a strap or a towel or a t-shirt?
No. I mean,
Good? Okay,
I
awesome.
have to go find it though.
Yeah, take your time. I'm gonna give you 2 minutes. Come
Okay.
back when you're ready. And then I want you to, if you are ready, just lay down on your back and then we'll get started that way.
Got it.
Beautiful.
Ooh, I gotta get my dog out of the way.
Sometimes dogs are good for yoga and sometimes they're not.
Oh, here we go. Let's do this. You're going up there.
Okay, so I'm gonna put my props over here for now. And Pat, are there any body parts that you are dying to stretch or anything that might feel funky besides the knees for you?
Every morning before I get out of bed, I do a little stretching routine from my lower back.
Awesome. Okay, cool. We love the lower back stretches.
Yeah.
Totally necessary. Okay, so Pat, you can go ahead and lay down with me while we wait for Lynn. So I'll have you just find a nice comfortable position. And you are on the floor, is that correct? Or are you on a couch or a chair or a surface?
No, I'm on the floor.
Okay, perfect. So we'll just lay down on the mat. I would like to keep your feet on the floor for now, and I'll give you 2 options. You can keep, all right, Lynn, you're good? You're back?
I'm good. I can't find my official strap, but I have a bathrobe belt.
That's perfect. Sometimes even better because it's softer. Okay, so we'll find a laying down position, what we call supine in yoga. And so I'll give you 2 options. For a hip opener, we'll keep our feet in midline, right in the center of the mat, and we'll open up the knees with an option to put a blanket or a pillow or whatever you'd like under your knees. And for a low back release, instead of a hip opener, what we'll do is walk the feet to the outsides of the mat, about mat distance or wider, and let the knees knock in together. This will feel good on your low back, and then we can press into the head to lift the shoulders away from the ears. So we don't want shoulder earrings at any time during this class. And we really want to focus on lengthening the neck. And then I want you to let your arms fall wherever they naturally feel like they should go. So maybe they fall away from the body with the palms facing up. Maybe they're away from the body or closer to the body with palms facing down. Or maybe if you'd like a little connection with yourself, let your hands find your body, whether that's on the tummy, on the chest, on the legs, holding your thighs, or maybe even arms reach over the head if you're feeling a little tightness in your shoulders and you'd like to relax that. So take a second. I'm gonna sit up, but I want you guys to continue laying on your backs and find the best position for this supine laying down start. So we'll just take a couple of breaths to really ground. And as you do so, I want you to think about your bones getting really heavy. You're starting to just sink into the earth. And as you inhale deeply through the nostrils, you sense length in the spine and in the neck. And as you exhale through the mouth, your body will get heavy and you'll start to feel like water or like a cat where you're just sinking into the ground or taking shape of your mat. So we're going to take 3 breaths together, inhaling through the nostrils pretty slowly, and then opening the lips and let it sigh out. It can be audible or inaudible. We'll take another slow breath together in through the nose. And this time, feel free to open the mouth, stick out the tongue, and sigh out. We'll do one more like that, inhaling deeply through the nostrils, and then open the mouth and sigh it out. So continue breathing, letting the inhales and the exhales get a little longer than maybe your natural breath would be. I'll give you 2 options for your breath today. Yoga practices something called Ujjayi breath, which is in the nostrils and out the nostrils, keeping the mouth closed. This creates a little bit of heat in the body. And so this is an option if you'd like to have a warming breath. It's hot outside where I am, so that's not my chosen practice for tonight. But if you'd like to create some heat, that's your option. If you'd like to continue breathing in through the nose and breathing out through the mouth, that's your second option. All that I ask is that your inhales and exhales are just as long as one another, or that your exhales are a little bit longer than your inhales, which helps us promote deeper relaxation. So explore those 2 versions of the breath for maybe 4 rounds of breath. And you can change your mind at any time. And I want you to follow that internal teacher. So they say that there's an internal teacher that lives right in our hearts. And I want to emphasize the fact that if something does not feel good in your body that I say or suggest, just leave it. This class is for you. This 60 minutes of stretching, restoring, and a little bit of core work is meant to make you feel good. So if something I say doesn't make you feel good, give me a wave, say, hey, Jewel, this doesn't work for me, and we'll give you another option. That is my only necessity for this class. So we'll take 2 more breaths, and I'll give you the option to invite an intention into your practice. This can be a word, an image, a phrase, or a person to dedicate the next 60 minutes of intention to. If nothing comes to mind, or if too much comes to mind, just do it for yourself. That's it. Your health, physical, mental, spiritual, whatever it is that you want. And now we'll start to move with little movements of the body. We'll invite the right knee into the chest and grab the shin with both hands as you interlace your hands on your shin. Option to keep this left foot on the ground with the knee pointed up, or extend the left leg, letting the heel find the earth. Either option works. Option to stay in stillness, or take that knee into circles, reaching it towards your left armpit, then your right armpit, and then down towards the heel and the bottom of the mat. Sometimes stillness feels better for people and sometimes movement. So maybe explore both. And if you are circling, we'll take that movement in the opposite direction. Great. We'll hug that knee into the chest just a little tighter to awaken sensation into the hip. And then we'll replant that left foot onto the ground if it's not already. From here, we'll start to straighten the right leg up to the sky like you're trying to step on the ceiling. We'll flex the right toes towards the face and then hug the hands onto the back of the right thigh. Option to press into that left foot and hug the thigh closer towards your face, awakening sensation down the hamstring. Option to point the right toes towards the ceiling and then flex the toes towards the face to step on the ceiling again. We'll take this a couple times, letting the knee bend if it wants to bend and straighten if it wants to straighten. Just intuitive body scan here of what your hamstring wants. From here, we'll take big circles with the toes and the ankles in one direction. And then after 2 or 3, we'll go in the other direction. And I want you to go maybe 25% slower than you already are, just to really sense and observe what those tiny little foot and ankle muscles are doing. We'll grab that leg one more time, give that right foot a flex, and now we'll bend the knee to place right heel over left knee. We have a figure 4 now. Energetically, we're pressing that right knee towards the wall by our feet and flexing the right toes. This is a hip stretch here, creating distance between the belly and the right thigh. Option to stay here. Or option to plant the hands on the ground and use the strength of the legs and the abdomen to pull the whole figure 4 towards you, closing the gap between the right thigh and the belly. Option to interlace the hands behind the left thigh or keep the hands on the ground using the strength of your body to pull the legs towards the chest. You have options to straighten and bend this left leg up towards the ceiling and back towards the chest. But all that I ask is that you keep remaining your vision towards the ceiling so you don't crank your neck to either direction and the shoulders stay away from the ears. So take 2 deep breaths here, letting your body guide you, whether you want to stay in stillness or if you'd like to invite some movement, maybe rocking side to side, pressing the tail against the ground, and then lifting the tail up. Any movement that might be intuitive to your internal teacher. When you're ready, we'll plant the left foot on the ground, followed by the right foot. And then we'll take that sequence to the opposite side, hugging the left knee into the chest. We have an option to keep the right foot planted or extend the right leg long towards the ground, heel to earth, flexing the right foot. Stay in stillness, hugging the hands onto the top of the shin, or give yourself a big circle in one direction, awakening that hip joint, and then a big circle in the opposite direction a couple of times. And our bodies are uneven, so don't be alarmed if one hip feels totally different than the other. It's totally normal. When you're feeling good, and continue if this feels yummy, we'll plant the right foot back on the earth if it's not there already, and extend the left leg towards straight. It doesn't have to be straight. My hamstrings are not feeling straightness today. So we'll flex the left toes towards the face and then hug the back of the thigh with our hands interlaced. Maybe even the opposite grip than we had on the other hand with the awkward pinky on top. From here, we'll point the left toes towards the ceiling and then flex them back towards the face to step on the ceiling. And we're really going to try to step on the ceiling with our energy. So our heel and the ball of our foot is reaching towards the ceiling as our right foot is digging into the ground. You might notice that the more you dig your right foot into the earth, the more sensation your hamstring might feel. And we can pull that leg towards the face as much or as little as you want. We'll take the left toes into big circles in one direction, rolling out the ankle 25% slower than you already are, and then take it to the opposite direction as well. After you feel like you've gotten some ankle rolls, and please continue if this feels good, we'll bend that left knee, placing left heel right on top of right knee. Figure 4, there's space between the left thigh and the belly, and we're energetically pressing that left knee towards the bottom of your mat. Option to stay here or plant the hands onto the ground and use the strength of your legs and your abs to pull the legs towards the chest, closing that gap between the thigh and the belly. Option to stay, hands grounded, or interlace behind that right thigh. Awkward grip, opposite from last time. Keep
Excuse me
flexing
one
the
second,
Yeah,
Jewel.
yeah.
Excuse me 1 second. I just wanted to welcome Laura. Laura just zoomed in.
Oh,
So,
great.
hi, Laura.
Awesome.
Hi,
Yay, glad to see you.
I couldn't log in before.
Okay, but we got you. I'm glad we found
You
you.
got me.
Yay. How you doing today?
I'm great, thank
You're
you.
great. Awesome. Okay, cool. Well, we're opening just very similarly as we were last week, which is my favorite opening. So we can lay down on the ground and we can find a little hip opening and some hamstring opening. Sound good?
Okay, very good.
Beautiful. Okay, awesome. I'm excited you're here. Okay, so we were in our figure 4, pulled in towards the chest. Left knee is bent with the left ankle on top of right knee. So we were finding this sensation in the hip, in the bottom and the top of the left hip. Option to raise that right foot towards the sky and bend it, or option to stay in stillness, option to rock side to side. There's really no bounds or limits on the little movements that maybe your internal teacher is telling you to find. So we'll give you 2 more breaths to explore where your body wants you to go. And then we'll plant that right foot down when you're ready, followed by the left foot. We'll walk the heels in towards the booty. So maybe you can touch your heels, or maybe you can sense that they're close to your fingers as you extend the hands long, palms facing down. We'll take 2 rolling bridges here, planting the feet that are parallel to one another, as well as the thighs, planting the hands, planting the head, and rolling the shoulders down away from the ears. We'll engage the abdomen just like there's a puppy that's about to bounce on your belly. And then we'll inhale to lift the hips high as we lift the chest as well. Exhale, we'll roll the spine down, letting the hips touch the floor. And then as soon as you start to inhale again, we'll lift the hips high, hold at the top for a second. And then as you exhale, lower the hips to the ground. We'll do that 1 more time and we'll hold at the top, inhaling, staying for the exhale this time, pausing after the exhale, and then inhaling, lifting the hips just a centimeter higher than they already are. As you exhale, let the hips find the earth, and we'll hug one knee into the chest, followed by the other. Give yourself a hug as you rock side to side, and then roll right onto your favorite side, either direction. We'll use our arm strength to press us up to a seated position. And we'll do a little bit of arm stretching now. So I'll give you guys the option of sitting in a chair or standing up. I like to stand up personally because this specific stretch sometimes makes your back curve in different ways, and standing gives us the opportunity to check in a lot. If you don't feel like standing and you feel like relaxing, it's totally fine to sit down in a chair or even on the ground or on a pillow. So this is where we need our strap, our bathrobe strap, whatever it is. And Laura, do you have a t-shirt, a strap, something that you can use?
One.
Okay, cool. So take your time and you'll be able to join in whenever you find it. So we'll take our strap in our right hand. We're gonna raise the right arm over the head, and our palm is facing the opposite wall. So the palm is facing to the left. We're gonna let the palm face the back of the wall as much as we can, and then bend the elbow. So I want you to think about your elbow pointing directly upwards as much as you can, as opposed to pointing to the right or pointing to the left. So when you find that place where your elbow can point as high up straight as it can, we'll take the left arm out to the side like a wing, palm facing behind us. From here, check in with the spine. Some people, like me, it's really common to find a little back bend by accident. Some people find an arch by accident, rounding the spine. So if it helps you, you can do both a couple of times, letting the pelvis tilt forward like a bowl of water, and then letting it tilt back until you find your neutral. When you do find your neutral, we'll keep extending that left hand, palm facing back, and bend at the elbow, reaching the arm behind you to find that strap. So depending on where your mobility is for your shoulders, and again, each arm is different, we're going to walk the hands closer together. Maybe they reach each other. Mine definitely don't. But if you have good mobility, it might get closer. Whatever you're doing, I want you to maybe look at yourself in the camera or look in a mirror, or just look at your elbow. Is your elbow reaching out, or is it staying up straight? I would rather have your elbow staying up straight and your hands be really far apart than your hands be really close together and have your elbow extend long. The other thing I want you to watch out for is if your head reaches forward. I want your heels, your knees, your hips, your shoulders, and your ears to be as straight of a line as possible. So take a few moments to really get into this pose. This is called Gomukhasana, which in yoga means cow-faced arms. We're pulling the strap apart. The top arm pulls it up as the bottom arm pulls it down, as our elbows are reaching in opposite directions. Press the head into that right arm as you sense opening in the right tricep and opening in the left shoulder. Take a deep inhale. Take a slow exhale. And two more like that. Maybe you close your eyes. Maybe you take that ujjayi breath of keeping your mouth closed. Or maybe you think of your intention, your personal health, whatever you're doing this practice for today. One more inhale, reach those elbows in opposite directions. Exhale, hold the strap in your left hand as you release the arms. Maybe you do a little rock side to side or big shoulder circles backwards and then big shoulder circles forwards. Beautiful, guys. Okay, so we're going to take Gomukhasana to the opposite side. So we'll start by reaching our left arm with the strap straight up to the ceiling, palm facing to the right. If it's okay in your shoulder, we'll continue turning the palm until the palm faces almost the back. My left shoulder is way less flexible, so that's not happening for me tonight. And then we'll bend that left arm so the elbow points directly up to the sky. So the strap is dangling behind you. Again, we want to check in with the spine, check in with the neck, and try to have alignment all the way from the heels to the ears. From here, we'll take our right arm out like a wing, palm facing behind you, bend at the elbow, and snuggle the arm underneath you until the elbow faces down towards the ground. We'll grab opposite sides of the strap, trying to reach the elbows in opposite directions. We'll pull on the strap as the left elbow reaches high and the right elbow reaches low, continuing to press the head into the left arm instead of letting it dive forward. Again, I would rather you have the strap a lot of distance between the hands than having that distance closed, but being hunched over. So I want you to press the head into the hands and lengthen the spine, emphasizing the distance between your two elbows. Take 2 breaths here, inhaling slowly, sigh it out. A couple more on your own. Option to keep the mouth closed, option to stick out the tongue and sigh it out, option to really sigh it out and make some noise. Whatever it is that makes you feel good tonight. One more inhale, spread the elbows. Exhale, grab the strap into your right hand. We'll unleash the arms and maybe you twist the shoulders in opposite directions. And then we'll take 2 big shoulder circles to the back and then 2 big shoulder circles to the front. Good, so we'll drop our start for now. That's over. And now we'll reach our arms up over our head, letting our toes point to the front of the room, or maybe your toes reach out if that's more comfortable. Either way, knees and toes in the same direction. As we inhale, we turn our pinkies towards one another. As we exhale, we'll hinge at the hips, bending the knees, coming to halfway. So you're like a table, totally parallel with the earth. Inhale to reach an inch further. Exhale to fully bend the knees. Let the hands find maybe towards the ground or opposite elbows. So we're in a forward fold Uttanasana. Option to rock side to side. Option to extend the arms out long like wings. Or option to grab your hands together, interlacing behind you, reaching the arms up high to the sky. One more inhale, lengthening the head towards me. Exhale, release the hands wherever they are. Let them find the earth. Good. As you inhale, bend the knees, plant the feet, raise the torso all the way up. And this time we'll exhale as we grab the left wrist with the right hand and bend to the right. We're going to really press down through the left foot. And notice if you're hunching your back forward, can you open the chest towards the ceiling to really gaze at the wall and the corner where they meet? So we're inhaling, letting the right hand pull the left arm, gazing underneath the armpit. And as you exhale, use the abdomen to stretch the arms upright. Good. Inhale, release the arms to the side, up over the head. And we'll exhale to the opposite side, grabbing the right hand with the left fingers, reaching over to the left this time. Really plant the right foot into the ground like a tree as you stretch the right side of the body. Again, sense maybe if you're hunching forward, can you open the chest? I would rather have your body more straight, just reaching an inch, than have your body curved, technically reaching further. So we're opening the whole side body. One more inhale, pull the right fingers towards the wall next to you. Exhale, use the abdomen to lift the torso upright. Inhale the arms down to the sides, up over the head. Exhale, bend the knees, and we'll dive forward, hinging at the hips. Inhale, we'll find a halfway lift, spine is long. Exhale, we'll plant the hands, and we'll step back to either a plank pose, a downward facing dog, or hands and knees. So we'll demo all of those for you. Hands and knees, tabletop position, and you can always put a blanket, an extra yoga mat, or do this on a couch or something more comfortable. Plank pose we can do on our elbows with our forearms in 11, either on the knees or lifting the knees. And downward facing dog, we'll have our body in an inverted V, letting the heels get heavy and letting the hips reach high. So we'll take 3 inhales wherever it is that you are. Inhaling to find length, exhaling to find some power. Inhaling to find length in the spine. Exhale to solidify your strength. Good, one more. Inhaling to find length. Exhaling to find strength. Beautiful. Wherever you are, we'll come to hands and knees. So is anybody uncomfortable in this position? We're feeling okay?
I'm uncomfortable.
You're uncomfortable? Okay.
Yeah.
So for you, how do you have a chair that's accessible to you that you can sit on
Yes.
the chair instead?
Yes.
Okay. So I'll give you the chair option instead. And if anybody else wants to take that, we can sit on a chair. I'll demo both of these. First in tabletop position. We'll find some cat-cows. Inhaling, letting the belly drop, gazing up at the sky, tailbone reaches high. As you exhale, press into the hands and let the spine arch to the ceiling, gaze at the navel. If you're taking the sitting option, we're going to do a very similar thing. As we inhale, we're going to open the knees and let the chest raise between the legs, looking up at the sky, kind of sticking the booty out towards the back wall. On the exhale, we'll close the knees, grip underneath your knees, and let the spine round as you gaze towards the belly button. So I want you all to do this 4 or 5 times in whatever position that you're in. Letting the inhales guide your heart to open in either position, and letting your exhales close you off, letting tightness find your body. As you inhale, we'll open everything. And as you exhale, we'll turn inside of ourselves, gazing at ourselves. Good. One more. Inhaling, letting the chest open. Heart is proud. Exhale, let the heart concave into yourself. Maybe you bring some strength into the hands or strength into the knees. Good. And from here, we'll find a twist. So for those of you in tabletop position, I want you to inhale to reach the right arm up to the sky, and exhale, you're going to thread that needle underneath the left arm, reaching the right fingers long towards the side of the wall. Your head can find the earth or a pillow or a block underneath you. And I want you to think about your hips being little headlights, finding the similar direction. So it's easy for one hip to hike up. So we're going to try to find straightening. And for those of you sitting, we're going to find maybe the edge of our seat to sit straight up. Inhale to lift the arms overhead. Exhale to twist open to the right, letting the left hand find the right knee, and the right hand finds the couch or the chair or the floor behind you. Wherever you are, as you inhale, sense length between the top of the head and the tailbone. And as you exhale, maybe you twist just a teensy bit deeper. One more deep breath here, inhaling to find length and exhaling to use that length to twist. All right, wherever you are, we're going to unwind. So if you're sitting, we'll find center. And if you're in spread the needle, we'll press into the left hand, reach the right arm all the way up to the ceiling, heart is open. Exhale back to tabletop. We'll take it to the other side. If you're in tabletop, inhale the left arm high and then thread that needle. If you're sitting, we'll inhale the arms up to the sky, twist to the left this time. Right hand comes to left knee and left hand comes behind you onto a surface or maybe even extends long. Wherever you are, take 2 of your biggest and longest and purest inhales and exhales that you've taken today. So I'll give you a little bit of silence here to just explore this movement, letting the inhales create length and letting the exhales help you twist using that length. We'll all come back to center wherever it is you are. If you're in tabletop, we'll open that left arm to the sky and then bring it back to tabletop. We'll open the knees wide. If you came from tabletop, just sit the hips back towards the heels and let the forehead find the earth for a second. If you're sitting, we'll inhale the arms up and then exhale the arms down. So we'll come to a standing position for everybody for our next couple movements. Bye, Laura. Okay. All right. So we're going to find a couple of ab exercises standing up. So what we're going to do, and if you would like to make this a little more challenging for yourself, you can always hold a weight or something in your hands, but I'm not feeling it tonight, so I'm just gonna do it weightless. But if you're feeling a little spicy, you can definitely hold something a little heavier. So we're going to find what's called Tadasana, Samasthitihi in yoga, which means equal standing. So that means that each 4 corners of both feet are digging into the earth. So we're standing equally on both feet. We'll rock to our toes, rock to our heels, rock to the left side of your feet and the right side, and then find center. So we're finding this grounding. As we inhale, we'll lift the arms overhead. As we exhale, find a cactus arm, a goalpost arm with the hands. We're going to spread the feet out just a couple of inches. So maybe their hip distance are a little bit wider. As we inhale, we'll find length. As we exhale, we'll take our weight to the left side and crunch our right knee and right elbow together. Inhale, find length to center. Exhale, left knee and left elbow. So what I don't want is this rocking side to side. What I do want is keeping the hips as stable as possible and using your strength instead of momentum. So inhale to straighten, exhale to side crunch. Inhale to straighten, exhale to side crunch. Inhale to straighten, hug the belly towards the spine, and stay here, or we'll add a little bit of change. This time, as we lift the left knee, we'll twist, bringing right elbow and left knee together. Inhale to straighten, left elbow, right knee. Inhale to straighten, right elbow, left knee, twist. Ooh, losing my balance. So we're gonna find 4 more of these. Option to close the eyes for a little more balance challenge and finding the internal core work, or option to lift the knee a little bit higher, or option to keep the leg straightened as you extend for more core work. So wherever you are in your practice, just take maybe 3 more, 1 on each side, and find a little bit of power in the whole center of your body. Then we'll find our goalpost, heel toe the feet all the way back in. Inhale to reach the arms up. Exhale, we'll bend the knees and come down to the mat. So I want us to find a seating position. And we'll do a couple more ab exercises as we lay down before we really take it easy and relax into some stretching. Sound good? Everybody doing good? Beautiful. Okay, so we're gonna find our way to our back. And does anybody have any neck issues or shoulder issues that they're working with right now? Are crunches like no good for anybody here? We're okay? Okay, so our first exercise, we're gonna find all the way to the back, and we're gonna take our hands in a little triangle and place them right underneath our low back on our sacrum. So our sacrum is that triangular part right where our back and our glutes meet. And we'll find a little comfortable spot where our hips don't hit the ground completely. And if that doesn't make sense to anybody, just let me know and I'll stand up and explain it a little further. So from here, we'll lift the knees into a tabletop, shins parallel with the earth. As you inhale, lengthen the right leg long, keeping the left leg parallel to the earth. As you exhale, straighten that right leg towards the ceiling. And then we'll switch. As you inhale, bend that right knee parallel, straighten that left leg towards the ground. Exhale, left leg points towards the ceiling. Inhale, tabletop left leg, straighten right leg. Exhale, straighten right leg up towards the sky. One more like this, tabletop right leg, extend as you inhale. Exhale, straighten left leg up towards the sky. Good, so we're gonna tabletop both of those legs now, and we're gonna try it with both legs at the same time. So as we inhale, we'll straighten the legs, Maybe they hover towards the earth, or maybe they're reaching more in a diagonal. As you exhale, lift the legs as straight as they can be. Inhale to bend halfway and extend the legs long together. Exhale to lift using the abdomen. We're going to do 5 more of those. Inhale to tabletop and then extend. Exhale to use your abs to straighten the toes towards the ceiling. Inhale to tabletop and then extend. Exhale to straighten the legs towards the sky. Good, 3 more. Inhale, make it slow, extend the legs. Exhale, use power, go slow. Don't use momentum, use strength. Good, last 2. Inhale, tabletop, and then straighten the legs. Point the toes towards the wall away from you. Exhale, lift using the abdomen. Okay, good, last 1. We're gonna stay lengthened and extending on our inhale. This time, as you exhale, only lift the right leg. Inhale to lower the right leg. Exhale to lift the left. We'll do this 3 more times. Inhale, lower the left. Exhale, lift the right. And you can stay more diagonal than closer to the floor. It'll be more challenging as we reach the floor. Inhale to extend the top leg. Good. Exhale, lower it down. Inhale to extend the top leg. Exhale to lower. Good, just 2 more. Inhale, use the abdomen strength, lengthen the neck. Exhale, lower. Inhale, extend. Exhale, lower. Let the heels find the earth. Release the arms from underneath you. And just let the palms find the ground for a nice grounding breath. Inhale to lift the arms up overhead. Exhale to turn the palms down and press them down to the earth once again. Good. This time we'll take a nice twist in the body, letting the right knee find its way towards the chest, giving yourself a hug just like we started class. We'll take our right knee into our left hand and we'll let it fall over to the left as we roll onto the left side of our body into a supine twist. I like to have something underneath my right knee, maybe a yoga block, a pillow, a blanket, and then I can extend my right arm, or I can hold myself with my right arm if it doesn't feel good on your shoulder. There's an option to look over the right shoulder if it's okay with your neck, or you can gaze up at the ceiling, totally up to you. If you're already a big twister and you'd like to invite a little bit more, you can bend the left knee and try to reach for it with the right hand, kind of like you're holding your tail. This is called cat's tail twist. You can use a strap or just forget about it and keep the left leg extended. Again, as we inhale and twist, we find a length. And as we exhale, we use the length to twist. So take 4 more breaths, as slow and as steady as you can, keeping in mind that every inhale is that life force. We call it prana in yoga, the air that creates life and lets us keep moving and grooving. And the exhales, our plants, our trees, they use them for their life force. So all of these inhales and all of these exhales are creating life force for this earth. After your last exhale, we'll engage the abdomen slightly and roll the body back to the back, hugging the knees into the chest. Maybe you rock side to side, maybe you stay in stillness, whatever it is your body's asking for. From here, we'll extend the right leg towards straightened on the ground. The knee can stay bent and the foot can stay planted if that's comfortable. We'll take the right hand to the left knee that's bent towards the chest, and then start to turn onto the right side of your body, letting the left knee come towards the floor. Again, I like to have a pillow under this left knee, which is totally optional, but it helps me stay a little more grounded. Option to lift the left arm and then extend it like a wing towards the left, and option to gaze over the left shoulder or keep gazing at the ceiling. If you'd like to take that cat's tail twist, you can bend the right knee and your left hand maybe finds the toes using a strap or not, or just keep the right leg straight. And I want you to relax into the mat. Once again, feeling like the body is made of water, just grounding into the earth. If this is when your to-do list or your laundry list starts popping up, I want you to make your breath audible and maybe bring that intention back into your mindset. If your intention has changed during the practice, that's completely fine. One more inhale. Use your exhale to twist. We'll engage the abdomen slightly and just roll onto the spine, hugging the knees into the chest. Good. We'll plant the feet onto the ground and we'll just take little windshield wipers, letting the knees extend to the left and then extend to the right. We'll let the knees face the ceiling once again. And do you guys have yoga blocks or a pillow or a bolster that will lift your hips about 2 inches or so off the ground? Does everybody have that? If not, it's no worries.
You know, we'll have that for next. I'll put that on the thing for next to bring next time.
Okay, cool. No worries. We'll skip it. Okay, so from here, we'll invite the knees back into the chest. Take your right shin into your right hand, left shin into your left hand, and we'll open the knees. So this is called a modified frog or a modified happy baby. And it's a nice inner thigh groin stretch. So maybe you stay in stillness, maybe you rock side to side, or maybe you find circles in opposite directions with the knees, extending them out wide and then reaching them towards one another, maybe finding opposite circles. If full happy baby is in your practice, you can extend the feet towards the sky and then grab for the outsides of the feet. If that's not accessible to you, it's completely fine. You can keep holding onto the shins and opening the knees as wide as you can with flexed feet. If you'd like, you can extend the feet farther away from one another, maybe even letting them come towards straighten, letting the legs extend high to a forward fold, but holding the legs. We'll take one more breath here, extending the leg in opposite directions, and then exhale, use the strength of your legs to press the feet together. We're going to keep the feet pressing up towards the sky and let the arms fall towards each wall next to us.
Your volume went way down.
I know, I think my microphone died, but can you guys still hear me okay?
Your volume went way down.
Yeah, I know.
It's so I can still hear you.
Okay, I'm just gonna sit a little closer so you guys continue with the movements that you're in. I'm just gonna sit a little closer. My microphone died. So from here, we're gonna keep the legs extended up towards the ceiling. And there's always an option to come to a wall to let your legs fall right up the wall instead. So this is a great pose to encourage circulation from the top of the body down and to let our heart space settle as our heart is grounded and our feet are up, which is just the opposite of how most of us spend most of the day. So option to close the eyes, option to keep the hands towards the ground, or maybe you grab your thighs, your legs to give yourself a little massage. Take 3 nice breaths as we prepare for our final relaxation. And if there's any other poses or any other movements or maybe crunches that anyone missed, we can take a few moments to let our body settle here. Take your final inhale as you find a length in the spine. And as you exhale, we'll bend the knees, plant the feet onto the ground, and extend the legs long. We'll take a mini Shavasana, just about a minute and a half here, letting the body create space. Maybe you separate the legs so there's space between the thighs, separate the arms so there's space in between the armpits, or as always, you can put your hands on your body, maybe on the heart or the belly, to connect with the physical self. Shavasana is our opportunity to integrate all of our practice, our action, our yang energy into a little more of a subtle energy. We'll take one final exhale, maybe clench the fists, flex the feet, purse the lips, close the eyes tight, and then exhale, release it all, letting the face relax, the fingers relax. Maybe you rock the head to the right and to the left, find center, and just give yourself a few moments of peace before we finish up together. So I'll leave you for a second, and then I'll wake you back up in just a moment. Okay, we'll start to bring intention back into the physical body by just wiggling the fingers or the toes. And then we'll bring intention back into the breath body, the energetic body, by a deep inhale, followed by a deeper exhale. Maybe you have a big good morning stretch, reaching the arms over the head, pointing the toes. And then we'll invite the knees back into the chest, roll onto one side, and then take your time to find a seated position. On your mat, on the chair, on a couch, wherever your back can stay straight, we'll roll the shoulders back and down, and find our hands in heart center in Anjali Mudra, prayer mudra. We'll take an inhale to lift the thumbs to the forehead as recognition to remember clear, loving thoughts. We'll let the thumbs come to the lips in recognition of clear, loving communications. And then thumbs back to the heart in recognition of clear, loving actions. Thank you, everybody, for sharing this with me tonight and being part of this class. Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you, Jewel.
Thank you.
You.
Thanks for joining us, Pat.
Sure, it was great.
Yeah, if you, I would love to, I know you don't live super close by, but if you ever want to join me for a class, just shoot me a message and I would love to send you a link to sign up. So I'm sorry that one time was my big fail on the technology.
Oh.
So